Top 10 dangerous places in the world. Our Earth seems to be a relatively safe and healthy place. However, there are actually quite a lot of wild and dangerous places. Here are the top 10 dangerous places in the world. Snake Island, Brazil. Ilha da Queimada Grande, Snake Island is on the list of the most feared places in the world. It is a 45-hectare island located 35 kilometers from the coast of Sao Paulo. Known as Snake Island, this is the only place in the world where there are many golden-headed cobras, the world's most poisonous snake. With a huge amount of snakes, each square meter has up to 1 to 5 yellow-headed green tigers. They can grow up to half a meter longer, and venom is 5 times stronger than land snakes. In addition, the island contains about 400,000 other poisonous and extreme snakes. The cause of this diversity may have come from island isolation when sea levels rose 11,000 years ago. The bite of yellow-headed cobras can be fatal quickly, and their venom contains hemotoxins that corrode meat and tissue. The combination of venom, isolation, and danger from poisonous snakes makes Ilha da Queimada Grande the most horrifying place in the world. Mount Washington, USA. On the list of the most dangerous places in the world, Mount Washington heartbroken curious scientists. This is not only a place where strong winds up to 327 kilometers per hour can roll everything in its path, but also because of the amazing cold. Temperatures can drop to minus 40 degrees Celsius, accompanied by a constant snow rain, which increases the snow thickness to 7 meters per year. Mount Washington attracts visitors by extreme weather conditions at the summit, where strong winds come from 3 directions, and the strongest storm regularly takes place between November and April. The wind speed record is 103.3 meters per second, and the record low temperature is minus 43 degrees Celsius. Exploring Mount Washington is a challenging journey with blizzards and harsh geopolitical forces, where beautiful views of abandoned buildings unfold. The top of the mountain, a journey to conquer the top of the mountain, is only for the brave. Dead Sea. Just between the border between the West Bank of Israel and Jordan, the Dead Sea is famous for its salinity 10 times higher than normal seawater. The water here contains more than 20 minerals, of which 12 cannot be found in other oceans. Salinity makes the density of water greater than the human body, creating a sense of prominence on the surface of the water. You can enjoy flowing without worrying about sinking. The Dead Sea is not only a place for relaxation, but also a huge storehouse of salt. High salinity helps visitors experience the magic of floating on the water. Discover the uniqueness of the Dead Sea, which resembles a museum of natural salt. With high salinity, we have the opportunity to see exotic salt crystals, creating unique images that differ from other seas. Interesting and unique, the Dead Sea is a great destination for those who want to experience the magic of nature. Danakil Desert, the harshest land in the world. The Danakil Desert, an area of about 100,000 square kilometers, is described as the world's harshest land. This place is not only harsh in nature, but also a natural storehouse of salt with a characteristic smell of sulfur. The desert has a thin layer of soil due to tectonic movements, and during the drought, terrible heat causes water to quickly evaporate, creating layers of crystallized salt. With its exotic beauty and unique nature, the Danakil Desert offers an unforgettable experience with a combination of harsh environments and unique beauty. Madidi National Park in Bolivia. Founded in 1995, Madidi National Park, Bolivia stretches from 180 meters to 6,000 meters above sea level and is about 18,130 square kilometers wide. It is adjacent to the Amazon Plain and the Andes, two of South America's most famous landmarks. According to the New York Times, exceptional geographical location and dramatically varying altitudes make the ecosystem in Madidi diverse, with all kinds from foggy forests, low forests to rivers, streams, swamps, and even permafrost. Dr. Rob Wolof, an ecologist with the Bolivian Society for the Protection of the Wild Environment, said there are large, rich species of animals, birds, plants, and insects, and contain almost all representatives of different ecosystems. In June 2015, a research group consisting of the Bolivian Wildlife Protection Association, in conjunction with large and small expedition groups, conducted a survey of individuals living in the national park, focusing on 15 major subregions. After 3 years, the team found and recorded about 4,000 species, including 1,380 to previously unrecorded species in Madidi, including 100 species of mammals, 41 species of birds, 27 species of reptiles, 25 species of amphibians, 138 species of fish, 611 species of butterflies, and 440 species of plants. The total number of mammals, birds, reptiles, amphibians, fish, butterflies, and plants in Madidi literature is now about 8,520 for species. The current number of species is about 11,395 after theoretical and practical calculations. This figure does not include other mollusks, crustaceans, or about 120,000 insects in Madidi. Despite its biodiversity, there are many dangers here. Biologists advise against touching any plant species at Madidi National Park as it can cause itching, burning of the skin, even dizziness. If you unfortunately have a scratch on your skin, you may be life-threatening because you may be infected with a tropical parasite. Guatemala. Guatemala, officially the Republic of Guatemala, is a country in Central America, bordering Mexico in the northwest, the Pacific Ocean in the southwest, Belize and the Caribbean Sea in the northeast, and Honduras and El Salvador in the southeast. Guatemalan politics is based on the form of a Republican presidential democratic representative. The president is the head of state and leader of the government, with a multi-party system. Executive power belongs to the government, legislative power is assumed by the government and the Congress of the Republic. The judiciary is independent of the executive and legislative. The National Assembly of Guatemala has 80 members, a 4-year term. Guatemala is famous for its high crime rate and also encounters earthquakes, hurricanes, landslides. In 1976, a magnitude 7.5 earthquake caused heavy damage, killing 23,000 people. African Death Lake. Lake Nyos is located on the decommissioned crater in the northwestern part of Cameroon, Africa. The lake has a water surface area of more than 1.5 million square meters with a length of 1.2 kilometers. There would be nothing to say about Lake Nyos if it were not the cause of the deaths of 1,746 people, along with more than 3,500 cattle and poultry on August 21, 1986. The huge amount of CO to produce from this lake has caused one of the most devastating natural disasters in history. On that fateful day, the air in Nyos village is very busy because this year the whole village is corn season. Everything was normal until 8:30 a.m. when they heard the sound of the shock coming from the lake. The clouds carry hundreds of thousands of tons of CO2 moving at a very fast speed, 100 kilometers per hour, that has covered many of the surrounding villages. Soon after, all humans and livestock collapsed and died out in sleep, and the winged species that flew in the sky did not escape the hand of death. In just a few hours, many villages such as Nyos, Father, and Sabum were virtually wiped out, with no one, an animal surviving. Kamchatka Dark Valley, Russia. Accidental discovery in the 20th century. So far, the revived valley on the Kamchatka Peninsula in the Russian Far East remains one of the most dangerous regions in the world. Unexpected discoveries in the 20th century, but until now, the revived valley on the Kamchatka Peninsula is still considered one of the most dangerous places on the planet. Despite being a deadly area, it attracts many wildlife species such as grizzly bears, reindeer, snow sheep, foxes, eagles. The place has unique attractions, including volcanoes, lakes, hot springs. According to research by scientists, the history of this place began long before it was discovered. Ancient documents record the revived valley was discovered by a ranger named Versus Kaliev and volcanologist Lenavi. During the period from 1975 to 1983, the Soviet Republic conducted numerous expeditions to this wilderness with leading teams of specialists. Here, researchers collected many samples for analysis. Around that time, they discovered a large number of dead animal carcasses in the dangerous land. Even scientists became victims when they came to study without inhalation masks. Where did the cause of death come from? In fact, the cause of mysterious deaths in this region is the release of toxic substances from cracks in the Earth's crust, including hydrogen sulfide, carbon disulfide, and carbon dioxide. Of course, inhalation of normal gas is not strong enough to harm. But if you live here for a long time, it will lead to the death penalty. In the experimental study, the researchers found that severe symptoms appeared such as dizziness, headache, nausea, even paralysis of the respiratory system, which led to death. And this area becomes more dangerous in normal weather days when the amount of poison increases. Village of the Cold Pole. The village of Oymyakon in Yakutia, northeastern Russia, has become the coldest place in the world, with an average temperature that can drop to -50 degrees Celsius. The coldest record ever recorded here is -71.2 degrees Celsius. This cold town has 500 inhabitants. In winter, there are only 3 hours of light. The rest of the time, it is dark. The earth is covered with thick snow around. Despite this, people continue to work and study, unless the temperature drops below -50 degrees Celsius. In August, the weather changes. The temperature in this place can drop to -15 degrees Celsius. In the warmest month, temperatures above 30 degrees Celsius are not uncommon. The village of Tomter in the Oymyakon Valley is located at an altitude of about 750 meters above sea level. The name Oymyakon means water does not freeze. Even alcohol can freeze here. Most houses still use coal and wood for heating, although there are some modern amenities such as in other places. Bikini Atoll in the Marshall Islands. Bikini Atoll is the site of more than 20 U.S. military nuclear weapons tests. Located in the Marshall Islands, the Pacific Ocean, the island is famous for being named after the bikini swimsuit in 1946 and was the site of a series of nuclear tests from 1946 to 1958. The project forced people to evacuate, turning the island into a nuclear test site. In 1987, many people returned to live here despite still significant levels of radiation in the soil and food. However, Bikini Atoll still attracts visitors with the beauty of the atoll, where diving explores monuments such as military vehicles, planes, war submarines, and resting places on the Blue Strait. In 2010, UNESCO recognized the region as a World Heritage Site, symbolizing the dawn of the nuclear era. Here is a list of the top 10 most dangerous places in the world. Like and subscribe to the channel to watch many interesting videos. Goodbye and see you in the next video.